Imagine the deafening chaos of World War II on a forgotten island in the Pacific. The air is thick with smoke and fear. Amidst the carnage, two soldiers, enemies by the flags on their uniforms, crawl into the same dark cave, both believing it to be their final resting place. One is a young American GI, the other a Japanese infantryman. Each is grievously wounded, bleeding, and alone. In their hands, they still clutch their weapons. This is it. The final, desperate confrontation. A moment of truth, where hatred is supposed to have its final say. But what happens next is not what you'd expect from the brutal theater of war. The silence in the cave is broken not by a gunshot, but by the pained gasps for breath. The American soldier, seeing the feverish state of his enemy, makes a choice. Instead of pulling the trigger, he uncaps his canteen. He crawls over and offers the precious, life-giving water to the man he was trained to despise. The Japanese soldier, stunned by this act of grace, accepts. The shared water becomes a silent truce, a language understood beyond words and warfare. The American then notices the severe wound on the Japanese soldier's leg. Without hesitation, he takes out his knife, not as a weapon, but as a tool of care. He cuts a strip from his own uniform, a piece of the very fabric that marks him as an enemy, and carefully, gently, bandages the other man's leg. In that small, damp cave, surrounded by the horrors of war, two human beings simply saw each other's pain. They weren't soldiers anymore. They were just two men, clinging to life, together. When an American rescue patrol finally found the cave, they were ready to evacuate their own. But the soldier refused. He wouldn't leave until he knew the man he had just saved was also safe. He insisted, and the rescuers, moved by this unbelievable scene, carried both men to safety. 50 years passed. The world changed, but the memory of that day in the cave never faded. The Japanese soldier, after a lifetime of searching, finally found his American rescuer. Together, these two former enemies, now bound by an unbreakable bond, embarked on a new mission. They traveled to schools across both America and Japan, standing side by side, sharing their incredible story. Their message was simple, yet profound. Humanity has no side. They showed the world that even in the darkest of times, compassion can disarm war and rewrite history. They were enemies on paper, but brothers in pain. When we choose empathy over enmity, we create a story that future generations will salute. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of the human spirit that history will never forget. Thanks for watching.